Well, it's still Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. I'm Larissa, and just out and about here doing some stuff, and just you have a memory of something, and of a dream. When dreams come back to you, I had a dream last night. I did, Mr. Klay Thompson. I had a dream, and you were in it, sir. I had this dream that I was watching a baseball game at one of the fields that I used to play at off of Hamlin Road in Rochester. And you and a bunch of other basketball players were playing baseball. And it weren't all Warriors, different basketball players from different teams. We're all playing baseball. And I hollered something out, and everybody got real mad. I don't even know what I said. I said something, and everybody got real mad. Well, then I said, fine, and I walked away. And then I ran into my little sister, who I haven't spoken to in years. And she had 2 handfuls of peppers. In one hand, she had a bundle of red peppers, and in the other hand, she had a bundle of green peppers. And she goes, I talked to them through the peppers. She goes, try that. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed the green peppers out of her hand, and I hollered into this bunch of peppers. I said, look lively, fellas. Well, then somebody hit a home run, and everybody was screaming and yelling. And after the game, you came running up to me, and I was standing with my pappy, and I was talking with my pappy, and you kept on trying to interrupt me. And I said, hey, I said, that's my pappy. And you were like, oh, well, nice to meet you, sir. And he said, how you doing, young fella? That's what he called everybody. He called a young fella. He said, how you doing, young fella? And then I woke up. Isn't that a weird dream? Weird dream. Anyway, I read this morning that Luka is suing his mom. And so, Luka, I got a couple thoughts about this. I can understand how that can happen, and that really, really sucks that you feel like you've been pushed to the point where you got to sue your own mama. I know you're from Slovenia. My father's family emigrated, like, the Slovak part of the family emigrated pre-World War I or during World War I, and the Ukrainian part of the family immigrated, I guess it was like post-World War I, right? Before World War II, in between. And there's a couple cultural, I can understand culturally, like there's a lot of control in Eastern European culture, right? Like very, very controlling, particularly of children. And that's really hard. And families that have been in the United States for a long time deal with it in a few different ways. There's still that austerity and that controlling nature, but some deal with it by like not being supportive at all. So it sounds like your mom has been controlling under the auspice of being supportive of your career. My family has been controlling or has been totally unsupportive of my career. And in that way has been controlling, right? Like they have worked to undermine my career in many ways, And it comes from the same kind of cultural need for control and facade and keeping, making everything look good and keeping children in check. But your business is your business. Your name is your name. Your identity is your identity. And if your mother has not been conducting business the way you want, that is your labor. That is your body. That is your time. I hope you don't hurt your mother by like taking her to the cleaners or whatever. But if you don't want her to be dealing with your business anymore and you want your identity, you should be able to have that, young man. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. So, I'm just saying, I just understand. I understand. Like, I understand. I understand the nuances of the family dynamic. Like, I feel you on that. I feel you from the other end of the spectrum, right? Anyway, calls in that game last night were atrocious. Totally atrocious and ridiculous. Calls were atrocious and ridiculous. Totally, totally, totally. And both teams played real hard. Yeah. Yep. And Zoltar, Spence, you were being a jerk. You were being a real jerk. Anyway, Anyway, just, those things. So, Clay, I had a dream that you met my pappy. He's dead, you can't actually meet him. Except for in the dream world. But you met him. You shook his hand, and he called you a young fella. Anyway.